One of the questions that we get all the time is, hey, Pete, and you're going to go crazy, but hey, Pete, so if I do chest on Monday, legs on Tuesday, back on Wednesday, am I going to grow?
Right.
So we have to touch on this, and I kind of want to put a nail in the coffin on this, and I think that we summarize this. We talked a little bit about this before, but I'm going to summarize that is your split building muscle? The answer is your split does not actually build muscle.
No.
It does not actually build the muscle. So it doesn't matter if you do chest on Monday, if you do a full body on Monday, if you do squats on Monday, or if you put your chest work before your back work, your split, I'm going to repeat this slow. Your split does not build muscle.
No, it doesn't. And the way I do like to discuss the topics of splits because they are very important and not something to be overlooked, but that shouldn't be the question that you're asking. If they say, is this split good? That's not the correct question. The correct question is, this is the workout, this is the training. Is the way I'm organizing the training the best way to do it? That should be the question, because let's say you're following, some people just say, this is my split. It doesn't tell me what you're doing in the gym. Let's say you're following a very high volume program. You got to do, let's just say, I'm just going to use an example, a minimum of 20 plus sets of body part. 20 plus sets a week per body part. Let's just say that's the minimum.
I was going to say a workout. What are you naming my workout?
Yeah, no, we're not even going to go that far with it. That's what you're doing. And then they say, okay, I'm doing, like you, whatever it is, chest on Monday, legs on Tuesday, back on Wednesday, whatever the split is, one body part per week. I'll tell them, listen, if you're doing that type of volume, that's probably not the best way to split. Same time, if somebody comes in and they say, listen, I'm doing full body workout 3 times a week and I'm doing 20 sets of body part, I'm going to say that's definitely not the way to do it either, because what are you talking about doing like 100 sets of workout, But if somebody says, hey, I'm doing a full body workout and I look at it and the plan makes sense for 3 full body sessions, I say that's great. There's no reason to go to a body part split. So any of the splits you choose can work, but it has to work within the training that you're doing. The split's just a way of organizing the training. So if you're training very advanced, the split needs to get very advanced. If you're training very basic, the split can be very simple.
Yeah, what's going to actually grow muscle is going to be your volume, how much weight you're lifting, how many reps you're doing it, how many sets you're doing, all that is very, very important, and the intensity at which you train.
Right.
So it doesn't matter if you do one body part a week, full body every day, upper, lower, push, pull, all these different things. None of that matters. As long as those 2 variables that I just said are in line, you're going to build muscle.
Yeah.
That's it. It doesn't matter how you break it down.
No.
It's just the packaging at that point.
Right, exactly. And the other, you can go as deep as saying, like everyone will ask about every little variable. The split is just one thing people ask about. They ask about the sets, the reps, how much volume, this, that, and the other thing. But the only thing you need to measure is progress at the end of it, So if you're doing everything that doesn't sound like it's optimal, but progress is happening, you're doing things optimally for you because you're progressive. You know what I mean? We just need to see progression.
It was so funny. We had a client come into the gym, and again, our clients, we deal with more like, people who want to lose weight and reshape their body and things like that. So we had someone come in and they're like, Anthony, I've been doing the same routine for months now, and that was like, she was like concerned. So I said, well, are you making progress?
Right, exactly.
And she stopped and kind of looked at me, and she's like, yeah. I'm like, you hit 275 on deadlifts the other day, trap bar. That's progress, right? She's like, yeah. I'm like, so if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Why would you change it?
And she like had an epiphany when I said that to her, because she's like,
forget that.
Huh.
People forget that.
People just think they need to change things just to change things. But if something's working and you're getting the results, you want to eke that out as long as you can.
I wish I could do the same plan and not have to change it. I wish. You know what I mean? But, when you get to a certain point, your body's going to not respond as easily as it did in the beginning, so you're going to have to get a bit more complicated with it. You're going to have to take a more proactive approach to your training, to your nutrition. But yeah, I mean, as long as progress is happening, all the other variables don't matter, People hear like, oh, you should be doing this amount of volume, this is optimal, you should be training this amount of times per week, or whatever it is. Even with nutrition, you should have this amount of protein, this amount of carbs. That's just to get you to the end result. If you're making progress and you're moving towards that end result, I wouldn't change anything. Sure, you can make things better, but when we're talking about training specifically, if you're getting any type of progress, you don't want to change it. There's no reason to.
No. I've been utilizing full body splits. So my routine is basically arms, full body, full body, arms like that. It kind of repeats like that. And I actually like it a lot. I actually really like it a lot. You're not really fatiguing one muscle at a time. It's very easy to get in a lot of volume that way. Have you ever done that full body routine?
Yeah, my best results from an extended period of time where I did full body routine is I did full body rest, full body rest. So there's a full body day followed by a rest day. So I like that setup because you're getting 100%, well, you're getting an exact a proportionate ratio of training to rest, training to rest.
Yeah.
So it's almost impossible, no matter how hard you train in those training days, to get so fatigued that your training needs, deload breaks, things like that, and you need to adjust things because you're resting just as much as you're training. I think that's one of the benefits of full body training is you can keep that frequency high. If you're doing a body part split where you're resting every single day between training, it's not really going to work well.
You also get stronger with your movements because you're doing one movement a day. So you're definitely getting stronger in that movement for that week. Yeah. I like it a lot, actually. I used to poo-poo it, but I actually like it a lot. I actually think it's really good. It's a good way for me, especially to get more volume in without being in the gym for hours. And I definitely think it's a more optimal routine to do, despite what others may think. I think it's definitely a more, but again, it depends. Everybody's a little bit different. For me, I need to get more volume in. So how do I get more volume in utilizing something like that? Whereas somebody else, like me personally, I would never be able to do that. I don't think that would work for me. Full body off. I don't think it would.
Well, there's something to be said for sure, and this is something a lot of people don't talk about, is catering the training plan to the personality type as well.
Yeah.
Because training is such an important thing to change the way your body looks. So the training is so important to build muscle, obviously. If you don't do that properly and stimulate muscle growth, it doesn't matter what you're doing with your nutrition as far as building muscle. If we're talking about fat loss, it's a little bit different. But if you're trying to grow muscle, the training has to be producing some type of stimulus for your body to follow that up with. So if you're not training in a way that produces that stimulus, you're basically just spinning your wheels. And if you're the type of person that hates training a certain way, and I tell you have to train this way, you're not going to put the same intensity into it. You're not going to put the same consistency into it. So even if it's the most optimal way to do things, you're not going to see optimal results because you're not applying what needs to be applied to make it happen. So there can be a case where we say, listen, this is not the best way to train, but because you love training this way and we change a few things about it to make it a little bit better, and you love it, so you apply 100% effort and consistency to it, you're going to get better results doing that than doing what's quote-unquote optimal, but not giving it 100% effort.
I don't remember the study that they did. I don't remember the name of the study and who did it and whatever, but it was on steroids, actually. That's what it was on. So it was on steroids, and they gave people placebo pills and told them they were on steroids. And the placebo effect was so strong that these people got steroid-like results. So I think there's something to say about placebo effect, period.
100%.
So if you literally convince yourself that this routine, so let's say they go to GetStrongNow.com, OldSchoolMuscleGain.com, that's what it is? OldSchoolMassGain.com, and they picked up our routine and they said, I'm going to get the best benefits from this.
I found the best routine on the planet. Yeah.
They are going to get insane results because they mentally told themselves that.
Exactly.
So if they literally did 6 to 8 weeks of Old School Mass Gain, then switch to Get Strong Now, then go back and forth between the two, they'll get the best of both worlds. But if they tell themselves nah, that routine's not going to work, they're not going to get anything out of it. So placebo effect is a real thing.
Yes.
And I really wish that someone would just tell me Anthony, hey, here you go. This is the one that's going to work. But if I don't believe it, it's not going to do it. So I'm telling you, if you go to GetStrongNow.com and OldSchoolMassGain.com, you're going to get those results. It's just that simple.
I mentioned earlier, people suffer from information overload, and that's a real problem, So one of the biggest things that I think, and this applies beyond bodybuilding and fitness, any area of your life that you want to have more success in, if you try to just gather so much information, a lot of people think I need more information that's going to help me. You could find yourself in that state where you just okay, I have all this information, now I don't know what to do with it, or this person says this is the best way to do it, this person says this is the best way to do it, but they're conflicting. What do I do? The best thing you can do in that situation is you just make a decision, you say, I'm picking this method, I'm going to follow this 100%, I'm going to forget about everything else, and I'm going to give it 100% effort. Or, working with a coach is such a big thing to do because, an important thing to do, because if you just say, listen, I understand all these different people, they have different philosophies, they have different ideas, some of them sound like they work, some of them sound great, but some of them conflict. If you just pick one person and you're like, listen, I'm just going to listen to what Pete says, or I'm going to listen to what Anthony says, and I'm just going to follow it 100%, you're going to get way better results, even if what they're telling you to do is not the best way to do it. that's the reason, you know, people get into arguments over the internet sometimes with different coaches. They say, like, his methods suck. You know, they'll say, like, he's doing it wrong, but, you know, I don't know why people follow him. But if he's getting those people results, it's because they're putting 100% effort into those methods. They're trusting the process. They're not getting distracted by other things. You can be going to the best coach, but if you're still looking around the internet and you're like, listen, my coach tells me to do this, but then I watched this YouTube video where the guy told me, no, don't do that. And then you're half-assing it, you're doing all these different things. Even though your coach is telling you the best thing to do, you're not applying it the right way, you're not going to get those results. So
agreed.
Sticking to that one thing, whatever it is, and just trusting the process, that's going to get you those results.